thought I'd just make a quick follow-up video to a couple of videos by Conference Report and this other guy, can't remember his name. But anyway, and they're making these distinctions between human values and values. Human morality versus absolute morality or whatever. I just don't see any reason to do all this. There's a truth here about what functionality, and outside of this social contract, outside of the obligation to respect each other's life and do all that kind of crap, there's a truth that we can discuss and talk about. So let's just end this discussion of separation. Just say, okay, let's say there's a chimpanzee tied on a gurney and there's a retarded human being tied on a gurney, and there's an experiment going to be done, and the chimpanzee has been through it before, and he knows the tools. When the doctor is coming with the tools, he knows he's going to be harmed horribly, he's going to be tortured, and so they have him tied, and he's screaming and yelling because he knows what's going to happen to him. And the retard is just blah, 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 the human. Doesn't know what's coming, probably might not even be able to care. It's so retarded. They might not even know that some horrible thing is happening. It just might have some few little sensations like discomfort, but won't even know. So what do? Do you do the experiment on the human, or do you do it on the chimpanzee? Alright, let's do the thought experiment one step further, and let's say the human being is unconscious and that there's no grieving anybody, the person doesn't have a great life, there's no anything, they're just an unconscious human being. Alright, you do the experiment that will lead to its death, but first torture it. And so it's unconscious, can't be tortured, it can only die. The chimpanzee will endure the torture and be killed. Which one do you do the experiment on? I think the answer is right there in front of us. It doesn't have anything to do with human value. It has to do with value of this thing we call sentience, this capacity to feel. I don't know why people have to keep complexing this to pieces. There's suffering. There's ability to suffer. And I'm not talking about desire. I'm talking about suffering. Okay? I'm not talking about wanting. We can want without knowing. We don't have to experience malaria to have appreciation for our life. We don't have to have cholera to have appreciation. All we have to know is that there's this bad thing, bad sensations, bad touch, whatever you want to call it. And once we've tasted bad, then we can speculate and we can understand double bad, triple bad, quadruple bad. We can understand this kind of crap. And there's no necessity for all this suffering to go on for us to have appreciation. That's just bullshit. And desire has its own, it's a completely different mechanism. It isn't the same as suffering. So anyway, it's just so irritating that this conversation has to get complicated when it's not that friggin' complicated. So it's supposed to be a quick follow-up, sorry.